let me highlight today's for the program. Moderator, myself, Barnabas D. Game and Sports Secretary, Student Council for Social Nature, Invocation Prayer, Father Jinto, Debate, and to start our program, may I call Father Jinto for invocation prayer.
Let's prepare for a prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather this morning, we give thanks for the opportunity to learn, grow and serve. We especially lift up in prayer all those who involved in the vital work of social care and support during this National Social Work Week. We are grateful for the dedication, compassion and strength that social workers bring to their work. They are beacons of hope in the lives of many, standing with those who are vulnerable, advocating for those who are unheard, and working tirelessly to build a more just and caring society. As students and future professionals, help us to open our hearts to the lessons we will learn, not only in the classroom, but in the community and through service to others. May we be inspired by the example of those who have gone before us, and may we aspire to serve with humility, kindness and integrity. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father Jinto, for seeking God's presence in our midst. Now I invite the debaters. Please come forward and take your seat on the stage. And at the same time, I request all the esteemed judges to get ready. And timekeeper will be Mr. Abhisha, Vice President, Student Council for Social Change. And the debate topic is School Social Worker Effectively Bridge the Gap Between Home and School. I repeat, School Social Workers Effectively Bridge the Gap Between Home and School. We have debaters from Sekuko Akami, Filoka, Sister Madalena, and Nika Hall. And the sir number one will be Mr. Filoka, a motion, and sir number two will be sir number two motion will be Nika Hall. Against sir number one will be Akami, and sir number two for against will be Sister Madalena. So first round will be 4 minutes, 3 minutes will be given warning bell, and second round will be 3 minutes, and conclusion for 1 minute. So for 1 minute, your points will not be counted for conclusion. Now I invite the judges for the debate to highlight the debate criteria.
Good morning, everyone. I'll read out the criteria for judging. Number one, content, and then the weightage is 40%. And under this, we will be looking at the argument, our evidence, and logic. So in argument, we'll be looking at the strength, relevance, and depth of argument which is presented by the speaker. The second one is use of reliable data, facts, statistics, and also examples. Then we will also be looking at the coherence and logical flow of thoughts and argument. The second criteria is delivery, and the weightage is 30%. We'll be looking at the clarity of the points which are communicated. And the second one is, under this, we will be looking at the confidence of the speaker. and also the way you deliver your argument with authority, this will be considered. Then the third one is during the course of argument and putting a point across, we will be looking at the speaker's ability to keep the audience engaged. Then the third criteria is rebuttal, and then the weightage is 20%. So the first one is counter argument. We'll be looking at how effectively the speaker is able to refute the opponent's point. This is one. Then another one is responsiveness, the speaker's ability to think and then respond logically. Okay, so these are some of the points which will be considered. The fourth one is structure. So the weightage is 10%, and then here clear introduction by the speaker, the body, and also the conclusion. Then the other segment in this is time management. So each speaker, as our moderator has mentioned, each speaker will be given a specific time, and you have to complete within that time frame. So these are the criteria. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, respected panel of judges and staff and faculties, and you all my dear friends. So today I'll be speaking on motion side. The topic is school social work effectively bridge the gap between home and school. Most of the students, they are excelling in many ways, like educations, and even their mental health is proper, the way they think, the way they treat other people, and also their life in the community is different from other students, because they are being treated and molded by the professional social workers. Because social worker is a professional which follow the principles, and when it is applied to an individual or any students, that students or that particular individual, never, tend to make mistakes in their life, because they are being properly guided by them. Thank you so much for this time.
Very good morning to each and everyone present here, respected Vice Principal, panel of judges, faculties, non-teaching faculties, and you all my dear friends. This morning I stand here to speak against the topic, school social workers effectively bridge the gaps between home and school. School social workers are often hailed for their role in bridging the gaps between home and school. However, several significant challenges undermine their effectiveness. Critics argue that school social workers face substantial challenges which include high caseloads, insufficient training, and communication barriers, which may hinder their ability to fully integrate families into the educational process. Furthermore, resistance from both families and schools, along with fragmented support system, limit their impact. This complexity suggests that while school social workers have the potential to facilitate crucial links between educational institutions and students' home, the reality of their effectiveness is often constrained by systematic and practical issues. Thank you.
A very good morning to everyone present here, respected panel of judges, and the moderator for giving this time. School social work is a specialized area of practice within the broad field of the social work profession. School social workers bring unique knowledge and skills to the school system and the student service team. School social workers are trained mental health professionals who can assist with mental health concerns, behavioral concerns, positive behavioral support, academic and classroom support, consultation with teachers, parents, and administrators, as well as provide individual and group counseling therapy. School social workers are instrumental in further furthering the mission of the schools, which is to provide a setting for teaching, learning, and for attainment of competence and confidence. School social workers are hired by school districts to enhance the district's ability to meet its academic mission, especially where home, school, and community collaboration is the key to achieving students' success. There are many ways in which school social workers ultimately and effectively bridge the gap between home and school. School social works can also help the families, the one which I mentioned, the broken families. Broken families can be mended through social workers. So it is not just for students, but it is also for the families and the parents as a whole. So therefore, I strongly agree to the statement: school social workers effectively bridge the gap between home and school.
Good morning, everyone. Respected chairperson, esteemed panel of judges, teachers, non-teaching staff, and you, my dear friends. It is Sister Magdalene against the topic, speaking against the topic. Social workers may not always be able to effectively bridge the gap between varying levels of parental engagement, limited resources, and inadequate praise. The role of school social workers can be perceived as intrusive or confrontational, potentially creating tension between families and school rather than fostering collaboration. Other professionals, such as counselors or teachers, may be better equipped to address specific issues, making the school social workers in bringing the gap less critical. Therefore, I strongly disagree that school social workers effectively bridge the gap between families and schools.
Once again for the time. So I am totally supporting the work of the school social worker, because school social worker, they are well-trained professionals. First of all, they are well-trained professionals. They know the tricks and strategy and interests of the student by understanding them emotionally and mentally, and by linking with the parents and with the community. They know how to take care of the school students in bringing them towards the right track. And there is not such a way or such a word that school social worker, because of the school social worker, there is a problem. There is never a cases like that as far as the research has been, said. And my opinion said about communication gap. I don't think communication also does not exist, because according to my experience and all my classmate experience, when we went to rural camp at Mezama village, sometimes we have to face a situation where some elderly people, they don't even know how to speak Nagames. But somehow we have to convince them and let them understand, or we have to call some mediator, like that, and we have to have a good communication with them. Or just by doing action, or just by doing some action or critical thinking, we have to always be critical thinking in order to bring the communication smoothly and to know and understand each other better. There is also a saying, if you don't know who to call, then call a social worker. When I was, doing this debate, when I was working on my debate, this word really touched me and this really inspires me. Because what a deep word is that. If you don't know who to call, then call a social worker. I think we all have to keep this in our mind too. Because social worker profession is meant meant to understand the society. And society means all the people, whether it might be kid, small, big, or mentally challenged people or disabled people or whatever. We live in a society. We are the one who should understand the society. And coming back to the school social work, there is a high percentage of success rate among the children in America, all those who are trained by the social workers. So I rest my case, sir. Thank you.
So my fellow worthy opponent have mentioned well-trained professionals. So I don't agree with the statement well-trained professionals because as a social worker, every individual or every person are not well-trained. Social workers are not fully integrated into the school's overall strategy for family engagement, resulting in fragmented or inconsistent efforts to connect with families. He also mentioned about communication barriers. No doubt there is communication barriers among the social workers and the parents or the students, because every individual belongs to different community, culture or areas. So the social worker face challenges to communicate effectively with the families and the school's children, which also limit the ability to bridge the gap between home and school. Next, parent resistance. Some parents may be unwilling to engage with school social workers, which can undermine the efforts to bridge the gaps between the social workers. And also, limited resources and funding restrict the scope of programs and services that social workers are able to offer, affecting the capacity to address the aspects of all the home school gap effectively. Lastly, the social workers often manage large caseloads, which limit the ability to provide consistent and individualized attention to each students and families, thereby reducing their effectiveness in bridging the gaps. So I am strongly against the topic, school social workers bridge the gaps between home and school. Thank you.
Social workers are being, like teachers can handle what they can, but to bring up, social workers are trained professionals who are equipped with the code of ethics. They have the communication skills of theirs, the active listening, or say the critical thinking, which they possess are not possessed by normal people, which clearly states that social workers are trained professionals, and about not being able to imply their skills in schools. Here is a statement by a lady. What she says: as a social worker in the New York City public school system, I struggle between upholding the social work code of ethics and doing exactly what I am told by school administrators who typically have a misguided understanding of what my work entails. Instead of applying my skill set, active listening, empathy, and communication that empowers our clients and promotes social change, I am ordered to fill in the gaps from wake-up calls to data entry to disciplining students for dress codes violation, other to cancel counseling sessions, to stand by metal detectors that children are required to go through, to monitor the hallways, or to watch a group of suspended students. You see, such talent, due to the system of education present around the world, we social workers, we are not able to effectively utilize our skills. As you can see, as I've mentioned, this is just 3 lines of an entire article that she wrote. So that's it. Thank you.
At first, I thought they were rude people who interfere in people's lives, but obviously not. I think they want to help people, says a student from secondary school in London when she was asked what she had been thinking about a social worker. My co-debater has highlighted that social workers are professionals. So, I am interested in engaging the audience with the facts and figures. So, my dear audience, please cooperate with me. So, here is a question for you, and I would rather appreciate your voluntarism. So, how many of you are ready to work in the schools? Please kindly raise your hand. I just want to find out how many of you are ready to serve as a school social workers in the schools. Hardly I could see only 5. How can I agree with my co-debaters that school social workers are trained professionals? It's not. By getting a certificate of Bachelor of Social Work, Master of Social Work, we are not going to be as professional social workers. Just now you can see none of you are able to raise your hands. You are not able to speak up for yourself that I am a professional social worker. I am going to work for the people. You are not able. We are not able. I am not blaming you all, even myself. When I am asked, I am not able because I am not confident. I have no sufficient confidence that I am able. I can render my service to the schools. I am not. My debater also mentioned about code of ethics. Yes, as social workers, we have an umbrella of code of ethics where we can hide ourselves, where we can protect ourselves. My dear social worker aspirants or measures, how many of you are able to remember what are those code of ethics as of now? None of us. I can see only eyes smiling at me. Smiling will not do. We have to put into practice in our life. By getting a certificate, we are not going to be a professional. Look at other degrees. So many bachelors are lying down. They are hanging around their parents' earning. They are not able to earn themselves. Their certificates is not going to lead us anywhere unless we are able to practice ourselves in our life. And of course, another example, I would request my classmates and service not to feel bad about it. One of the figures and facts. Language is, of course, communication. There is no communication gap, my co-debater said. But when Servizo was taking class, he asked us, since we were not responding, please explain to me what is social legislation in Nagamis. None of us are able to speak what is social legislation in Nagamis. How can we say there is no communication barriers? I strongly disagree. Professional social workers need to be properly trained, competent, therefore we are able to set out and serve. Otherwise, I strongly disagree that professional social workers are not able to render their service effectively while bridging the gap between parents and schools. So I totally disagree because we are not taking into serious and we are not properly trained and we are not fulfilling what is expected of us. So code of ethics will not let us anywhere. Thank you.
After sister came and said about something about school social work, my interest is converted again. Because we are working for it. We are gaining knowledge about social work. So my interest is like Nagaland school social worker. I don't see much, I guess. So for me to I got an innovative idea. Why don't I start a school social work here in Nagaland itself? My interest is converted, and I feel like everybody will be interested because there is no one to start. But if I start, I guess you guys will come and operate as a professional social worker. When it comes to this school social work, I hope you all agree with me. And I'm a social entrepreneur specialization. It is also a good platform. If I start this school social work, then it will be helpful to the society and also it will be helpful to me, myself also. Whatever we say, school social work, whatever they say, one day or the other, if I succeed in starting up my school social work institute, all your sons and daughters, they will be, guided under my institute. And I will employ only social worker from Israel. I will not employ
anyone from outside. So guys, keep strong, keep motivating yourself. Because with this much people and with this innovative thinking, we can start up anything. So, for you to learn, I will always support social worker. I will never go against social worker. I will never speak bad about social worker. They are speaking bad about social worker, but they are also a social worker. They are also a social worker, to be honest, yeah. And deep down, I know tonight they won't be able to sleep because when they recall the word which they are uttered from the mouth, they won't be able to sleep tonight also because they have, break the values and principles of social work. Thank you so much once again for giving me this time and privileges, and especially thanks to the Student Council for Social Change for giving such a good platform to come and speak up our mind. I guess everyone also should take opportunities like this. Thank you so much once again. Excel in knowledge and service.
Yeah, it sounds like politician just now. So only make sure that all of us here, we should be ready to work in his institution as social workers. Imagine all of us are going to be the school social workers. It will be so good when we are working together again, all 300 of us all together in one institution. Imagine what will be the situation of the social workers. So I don't disagree that social workers are not competent. Yes, as an aspirant of social workers, going to be as an aspirant, I would rather suggest school social workers are not able to fully engage themselves in bridging the gap between parents and schools because of the systematic function, structured function of the school system. Students, we are speaking about institutions are more focused on academic performance rather than mental health of the person. So, when the authority is not happy with the social worker, how can a social worker bridge the gap between the institution and the parents? I would like to draw your attention. New Education Policy 2020, and now is 2024. We are in of 2024. It acknowledges the critical role they play in supporting learning environment, promoting student well-being, fostering inclusive education. But as of now, as I was searching yesterday I was browsing. Google cannot give me how many colleges or schools are employing social workers. There is no record. That means school social workers' work has not been recognized. Why? Because we are not showing their competence. We say, as of this presentation also further presented, we are social scientists. And scientists of our world are not recognizing as we are scientists. Why? Because we are not able to work as database work. My co-debater said, we are collecting data, documenting. Okay, I agree, we needed evidence. But think of the social workers who, in a school less than 3,000, there is no school, there is no institution where less than 3,000 students are there. With one social worker, he has to meet in case he has to do best work. And how can you expect him to fully engage and document? He has to sit another 2 hours to document, another 2 hours to collect data. How can he bridge the gap effectively? It's not possible. So, I totally disagree that social workers are completely or fully bridging the gap. No, it's not possible. And why I disagree? Till now, our government, of course, why this seminar we are having? Because we are enhancing that we are competent, that we would like to work in the school. So that's why this social work has been implemented, and that's why observing it. We have to speak for ourselves. We have to speak for us. Unless we speak for us, we are not able to serve the young minds too. So I totally disagree that school social workers, if they are not able to fully, they are not engaged and they are not able fully to this person is debate. Why? Because I gain knowledge by debate. I am able to gather the thinking capacity of people who think from different perspectives. So I encourage all of you, whenever you get chance, it's not the moment of gaining or losing, but we are going to enhance your critical thinking capacity, what we are talking about as a social workers. Thank you, Nazir, and excellent knowledge and service.
Thank you, the esteemed judges, for your time, expertise. I really appreciate your good judgment, eyes and ears. And special thanks to debaters for your respectful dialogue, passion, argument, and I really appreciate your time that you have prepared, confidence, and you inspired us to do our best and learn from each other. I look forward to do the same in the days to come. Together, we can make a memorable and have a wonderful experience. Now I give time to Sir Bennett for feedback.
Good morning, respected Vice Principal Father Lawrence, my dear colleagues, and my dearest student. And first of all, I would like to congratulate to all the participants who presented their views on social worker role in the school. So here, before I give my feedback, I would like to tell you one small thing. Yesterday in the MSW first year's class, we were just discussing social work. We are helping people. Why do we help people? Why do we help people? There is a reason behind. It's very connected to today's debate. Like if we see, according to the UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, what do we understand? Education, according to UNESCO, it is about learning to know, learning to do, and learning to live together. This, like education, to live together. If we look back at the Swami Vivekananda, like education is like giving some nation to teach people, enabling people to stand on their own feet. That is the basic concept of education. So, relating to this community, relating to all these definitions of social workers are involving in the schools. In today's debate, it would be good from those who speak in support of the topic, if you could present it with the crisis of education all over the world. Like for instance, where is the highest school dropout rate throughout the world, in the world? Maybe in the most developed countries. Most developed countries has highest rate of school dropout. Maybe USA, Canada, UK, all these are the places where school dropout rates are the highest. Why? How? All those crises, we have to bring into it. And also we have to bring all these crises and the framing of policies and legislations for the education. Like there are lots of reasons and logic behind education policies, legislation on education. Under these legislations and education policies, there are huge role for the social worker. Why social worker have been recognized in those legislations and in those policies? Because they are very important thing All those things we have to bring it up. If we bring it up, your presentation would be very interesting. And second, those who speak against the topic, you can also bring with some analysis from our traditional practices. Like for instance, in India, we don't have formal educations. And for Nagas, we don't have formal educations. But for centuries to centuries, we have been living happily, growing happily, developing happily. Why? How? That is the education. Education is mainly how to live together, how to sustain ourselves in difficult times. So, that's why when we see on these traditional aspects, we better understand. Now, the so-called teacher and the guru. Of course, the terminologies are same, but when we see the quality, the term guru is not just a teacher, it is really a trainer. So in all those aspects, if you can argue it, then it will be very beautiful.
Thank you, sir, for your feedback, insightful experience that you have shared, encouragement and appreciation. I do believe that Nazareth will do much more better and will come up with flying colors in the days to come under your support and guidance. Now let me declare the result. To declare the result, may I invite Dr. Tori Hes, Kiba student over here, official to do the